Bill Clinton, the 42nd President of the United States, was impeached by the United States House of Representatives of the 105th United States Congress on December 19th, 1998, for, quote, high crimes and misdemeanors, unquote. The House adopted 2 articles of impeachment against Clinton with the specific charges. People, what if I told you that many times history is repeating itself because it's caused? What if I told you that the powers that be, as I have shown in my videos the last few days, that the powers speak through history, biblical events, and even modern day events that they cause. And they have players, that is, they have players that they put out there on stage, they have them in place, along with the bloodline and the fallen angels. And one of the objectives they have is to cause nothing but confusion en route to a one world system. It might be hard for those to understand that, but if you have been doing this as long as I have, you get it. And I want you guys to understand, there is a hearing again with Jean Carroll, Donald Trump. But to me, it reflects what happened back in the day with Bill Clinton. It's obvious that, yet it's a not so obvious event. And again, why did they do it? The powers have been utilizing events, I tell you, like nobody's business. Keep our attention to downgrade America in all of our major pillars of banking, of politics, church, to get rid of that which was or once was and replace it with, again, a system that is in decline. Trump went on the defense of the day after he was in the New York trial. Some might ask that he's losing it. Why is that? Because after court, he was right in front of both of his lawyers and he mentally scolded them. I'll show you that video. There's a thing called decorum. And like the book of Ecclesiastes talks about, there's a time and season for everything. Should Trump have scolded his lawyers right in front of them like they were children? I understand the pressure he's under. I understand the frustration that he has. But people, what I'm trying to tell you is that it's all an act. As I was preparing this video, I told myself, Trump is one of the greatest actors never paid by Hollywood. He's one of the greatest, smoothest, cunning / deceitful, modern day. Look, I know we want to believe in him, but I'm going to keep doing my videos. And I'm going to show you because I don't want you to see. They're playing our history again before us. And tonight is the debate. One of my questions to you is, during the debate, has Trump given additional ammunition to Kamala Harris? 1, he scolded his own attorneys. 2, he just said he lost the other day. Did he not? Did he not? I did a video yesterday. He said he lost. I can't get into it, but watch my last video. He lost. And what about all those once he admitted that he's lost, where did they go? Well, Pearson, what are you talking about? Let me bring this up. I want to be more specific. I apologize for it, but I have to be very careful. Other YouTubers can do things, but I can't. So I'm gonna bring this up.
A man told me.
Here's the title by Greg Marino. Read this. Do you understand now? It's on the internet. It's best to just type it in because there's very few videos that are out there. I know they're there. I saw them, but it's hard for me to catch them. Just Google it. He's saying he lost. For Trump to get back up in there, it's going to be a Herculean challenge. But again, if it's all an act, then we're watching a persecution and a crucifixion of which I will show you. So let's get started with what went down a few days ago and bring it to the forefront. The 5 C's of clues, codes, colors, the comprehensive conclusion. To me, it's all going to be there. That's right, it's all going to be there.
Making his way back to Trump Tower.
Lawyers for the former president and E. Jean Carroll squared off in Manhattan's federal appeals court. Trump is seeking an appeal after a jury found he sexually abused and defamed the former columnist and awarded her $5 million. Last year's trial was separate from the related defamation trial held earlier this year when a jury awarded E. Jean Carroll $83 million in various damages. CNN national correspondent Kristen Holmes is with me here in the CNN newsroom. So where do things stand now, Kristen?
Well, where they are right this second is the fact that the judge has this case, the appeals court has this case, and they're waiting to make a ruling. We don't expect one today. We don't even think one is likely before the election. But just to give some details as to what exactly we saw today, what is going on. As you said, this is the appeal. He is seeking a new trial here. This was a 2-week case. A 9-person jury determined that he was found liable of, as you said, sexual abuse as well as defamation. They awarded Carroll $5 million. Trump's lawyers are now arguing.
Trump trying to overturn verdict and $5 million payment. Trump lawyers argue verdict should be tossed due to issues with evidence. Court unlikely to issue ruling before election. Separate from defamation trial that awarded Carroll $83.3 million in damages. Here's the biggie. Trump said, I feel sad. I feel sad. Disappointed. Trump trashes his own lawyers right in front of them, but blames court failures on rigged judges just after he seeks new E. Jean Carroll trial. This was embarrassing, people. And that's an understatement. He did this on September 6th. You're going to see the numbers and how they speak. After much anticipated oral arguments on Friday at the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, where Donald Trump asked for a new trial in E. Jean Carroll's case, a civil lawsuit in which a jury last year found him liable for sexual abuse and defamation. The former president held a press conference and expressed disappointment in his lawyers as they stood behind him and said his legal talent simply has not been able to overcome rigged judges. Trump appeared in Manhattan to attend court and looked on as his appellate attorney, D. John Sawyer, made the case that senior U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan erred in rulings on evidence he allowed and didn't allow, meaning there should be a new trial in the case known as Carroll 2. If you guys have been following this, trust me, it is one of the greatest spectacles, greatest acts I have witnessed in my journalistic history. he scolded his own lawyers. That shows a lot about his character, doesn't it? Now look at this. He said, I feel sad. I feel sad just happened to come out to 47. And he's aspiring to be the 47th president. Now watch this here. Listen for your own. Listen, just listen.
And I feel sad that I have to come up here and explain it. I have all this legal talent, but legal talent cannot overcome rigged judges. They can't overcome a 4% Republican area. And I'm disappointed in my legal talent, I'll be honest with you. They're good. They're good people. They're talented people. Today at the trial, they didn't mention the dress. So the Monica Lewinsky type dress was a big part of the trial. Big part of the trial. I said, why didn't you mention that? And I heard there was a dress involved. And I wasn't frightened at all because I did nothing with her. Never touched this woman, saw this woman, had no idea who she was. But they have a dress, sir.
They have a dress. Those of you all who are my age, you know good and well what he's alluding to when he says the Monica Lewinsky. Again, the powers are taking history, making it fit today, and paralyzing our minds, getting us to think this is all real. Let me tell you what's real. Trump is fake. That's what's real. And when they take him out, it's going to be a fake Trump, a dummy Trump, a puppet, a second Trump. That's what's real. That's what it's all about, people.
At the trial, they didn't mention the dress. So the Monica Lewinsky type dress was a big part of the trial. Big part of the trial. I said, why didn't you mention that? And I heard there was a dress involved. And I wasn't frightened at all because I did nothing with her. Never touched this woman, saw this woman, had no idea who she was. But they have a dress, sir. I said, so what? Well, sir, it's very simple. They used that dress to try and intimidate me. They used that dress with the public. That dress was such a famous dress. It was Monica Lewinsky, part 2, the dress. And the judge wanted it for trial. And it was going to go into trial. And then they found out there was nothing on the dress, which I knew.
So there you go. We're building this. Now here's his lawyer's response, as embarrassing as it was. Do you think he should have talked to them respectfully alone or even together and go forth with a strategy and not out in public saying how disappointed he was? That's the ammunition that if I am the presidential nominee of the Democratic Party, that is Harris, Kamala Harris, I'm using this moment. Was it a smart strategy that Donald Trump just did?
I've done this one too many times, actually too many times for the last 3.5 years while President Trump has been trying to fight to get this country back. And I want to speak to the American women, and I want to speak to the people that need to get out and vote on November 5th. I have sat with President Trump for years now, while he has been targeted with lies and with judges, AGs, and DAs who have specifically run in this city and others on getting Trump. The Trump administration will fix this problem. We will stop Kamala Harris's regime, because she was there, let's not forget that, and she still is, of using officials from the White House, putting them in DA's offices, in AG's offices, and attacking your political opponent. And this country deserves better than this. We do. We should not be sitting here at a press conference talking about this. We did this in 2016, and every woman had no reports. They come out when it's election time, and
They come out during election time. This is similar to what happened with President Clinton. They set LaMonica up at a hotel to meet with, I believe her name was Tripp, and wanted her to wear a wire and entrap the then President Clinton, and then use the information against him to bring him down. Well, now we got different attorney generals and whatnot, you know, the law enforcement arm, doing something similar. You wonder why history repeats? Because it's crafted. Here's the history. How President Trump's impeachment trial parallels President Clinton's.
For the third time in American history, the Chief Justice escorted into the Senate chamber, the senators all taking an oath to be impartial, even signing their names to an oath book.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons are commanded to keep silent on pain of imprisonment.
But for the first time, the president is being tried by a Senate controlled by his own party, with a leader who said he's made up his mind.
I'm not an impartial juror. This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it.
21 years ago, the president on trial was Bill Clinton, trying to carry on as though the trial wasn't even happening.
I trust that the right thing will be done, and I think in the meanwhile, I need to work on the business of the people.
And not as now running for re-election.
By these radical left lunatics, I get impeached.
Bill Clinton's charges: perjury, lying to hide an affair with an intern, Monica Lewinsky, and obstructing justice.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Unlike today,
Oh yeah, what a time. I lived during that time. I watched it, you watched it. Unbelievable.
That is not my recollection. My recollection is that I did not have sexual relations with Miss Lewinsky, and I'm staying on my former statement about that.
It was a ceremony no living American has seen until now. As the Constitution dictates, they came to tell the Senate they had accused the president of high crimes and misdemeanors, and to argue he be removed from office.
Today, the president's lawyers did what they could to influence the shape of the trial, while Mr. Clinton himself, at least publicly, ignored the historic moment. Shortly after the jurors were sworn, the president unveiled a new education proposal, never mentioning his new status as a defendant at trial.
And the last one here, Monica Lewinsky, the affair, the dress. The alleged affair, Carol in relation to Trump, and the dress in relation to Trump. Monica Lewinsky, it said she had, let's just say, a man stain on her dress. History's repeating itself, huh?
She is now 40 years old. Who knew? She moved to London. She got a master's degree in social psychology at the London School of Economics. She has lived in LA, New York, Portland, Oregon. She has had some difficulty holding down jobs, and she talks about that in this article, some ups and downs. She turned down a $10 million job offer because she said it wasn't the right thing to do. Now, this is what she says of the affair. She says it is time to burn the beret and bury the blue dress. She takes responsibility. She says, I myself deeply regret what happened between me and President Clinton. She says, let me say it again. I, period, myself, period, deeply regret what happened. And how does she actually see this relationship with the president? She goes on to talk about it. She says, sure, my boss took advantage of me, but I will always remain firm on this point. It was a consensual relationship. Any abuse came in the aftermath when I was made a scapegoat in order to protect.
In order to protect his powerful position, the Clinton administration, the special prosecutors, minions, the political operatives on both sides of the aisle, and the media were able to brand me. So now you have the basis of the background. Monica Lewinsky, wow. Born July 23rd, 1973, is an American activist. Lewinsky became internationally known in the late 1990s after U.S. President Bill Clinton admitted to having had an affair with her during her days as a White House intern between 1995 and 1997. The affair and its repercussions, which included Clinton's impeachment, became known as the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal. Oh yeah. It's all there, people. It's all there, and it is repeating with a different twist and a different woman and a different president. Now, Monica Lewinsky, Day from Hell, January 16th, 1988. All these dates are going to come into play. I'm going to show you why. Within hours of gaining approval to expand his investigation to the Lewinsky matter, that was Kenneth Starr. Kenneth Starr and his deputies in the Office of Independent Counsel arranged to have Linda Tripp bait a trap. Starr and his deputies in the Office of Independent Counsel arranged to have Linda Tripp bait a trap for Monica Lewinsky. Tripp invited Lewinsky to lunch at the food court of the Pentagon City Mall in Washington, where she was seized by FBI agents working for the OIC and taken to room 1012 of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. There she met 6 deputy IOC prosecutors ready to go to work on her with hardball tactics. She also was met by her supposed friend, Linda Tripp, who was immediately understood had set her up. Here's the quote: "Make her stay and watch," Lewinsky told the prosecutors. "I want that treacherous bee to see what she has done to me." The IOC had rented Tripp a room at the hotel to better enable her to tell lawyers for Jones, who would depose President Clinton the next day, what happened during Lewinsky's interrogation. Now, here's the meat of it at the end. Check this out. During that meeting, Lewinsky, sobbing and shaking for the shattering events, asked to call her lawyer, Frank Carter. She was rebuffed. Carter, they said, was a civil lawyer. In fact, he had been a public defendant for 6 years, and she needed a criminal attorney. Not only did they want to leverage that a perjury charge would give them, but OIC prosecutors also were determined to prevent Clinton from learning that Lewinsky's story had been exposed. They wanted him to lie the next morning in his deposition. Despite Lewinsky's early requests, no call was placed to the law office of Frank Carter until 5:23 p.m. after the office had closed for the 3-day Martin Luther King weekend. Now get this, for 11 hours, OIC prosecutors continued to press Lewinsky to accept a body wire and tape conversations with the president, but she refused to give in to their demand. Her decision not to cooperate with the OIC that night, mainly commentators believe, saved the Clinton presidency. The, quote, perjury trap set for the president by the IOC has been criticized even by a respected federal judge and Reagan appointee Richard A. Posner in the book, An Affair of State, the investigation, impeachment, and trial of President Clinton. So they tried to set the president up, Clinton, and it failed. Now let's look at some other things that's connected to this. From an anonymous tip to an impeachment, a timeline of moments in the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal. There they are together. In June of 1995, Monica Lewinsky moved to Washington, D.C. was unremarkable. She was a 21-year-old recent college grad with an unpaid internship in the office of the President Bill Clinton's Chief of Staff, Leon Panetta. landed with the help of a family connection. But as the nation later learned, things happened quickly from that point, as it was that year that she began a relationship with the president, that's Clinton, that would last about 2 years and lead to an epic shaping scandal. It went crazy. Now here, Monica Lewinsky put this, was Twitter, now it's X. For 20 years, I've marked January 16th as the day I survived another year from 1998. On this 20th anniversary, thinking maybe we could try a survivor's chain. Retweet if you survived the unimaginable in your life. Now let's look at these dates. January 16th. January 16th, what do we have? January 16th of 1998, that's when she was trapped. January 16th, that's when Monica Lewinsky was trapped by the lady Tripp at the hotel and asked to wear the wire, in which she didn't. She retracted from a few days ago when Trump just scolded his attorneys of 9/6. The difference is 33 weeks and 3 days. So when you bring this date that she was entrapped at the hotel, which was 1998, and bring it up to 2024, she retracted from the day Trump just spoke a few days ago about his attorneys. 33 weeks and 3 days. You know what 33 is? Masonic. Then look at this. We have 12/19 of 2024. What is 12/19? That's the impeachment date of Clinton. That was in 1998, of course. Bring it up to 2024. Subtracted from 9/6, which is what former President Trump just spoke in relation to his lawyers failing him. The difference is 3 months, 1 week, and 6 days. What is that? 16, like John 3:16. 3 months, 1 week, six days. In other words, Jesus is the Savior, and now Trump is being depicted as a Savior, and he's being sacrificed. That's what this is all about. You're going to keep seeing this. Now you take the day that he just scolded his lawyers, that is Trump, versus 7/23. July 23rd is the day that Monica Lewinsky was born. Monica Lewinsky was born on 7/23. Just had a birthday in 2024. Subtracted from this date that Trump just spoke, the difference is 45 days, people. Trump was the 45th president. Do you see how big an act this thing is, allegedly? You look at this. We have 9/6, the day that Trump scolded his lawyers, versus 5/1. What is 5/1? Monica Lewinsky is 51 years old. So 5/1 from 9/6 gives you 4 months and 6 days. Who's the 46th president? That would be Biden's administration. Is that coincidence? Now, here's a video I shot a few months ago. I keep referring to it. Trump visit to steakhouse. Think. I'm running this video because I want you to understand. They're projecting Trump as a savior and somebody who's going to be sacrificed. In this video, Trump gets into a limo after he visits the steakhouse, and you're going to see the picture of Jesus on the window. People, and you start to see the formation of it a little bit better. But what is it? S-A-C-R. That's all you see. You still see an image, but it's blurred. But watch. Look at it and look in it. Who is that? Is that a halo? You should have chills by now. Who is that? And is that a halo? They're projecting Trump as a savior. This is all a Hollywood act. It's all a Hollywood act. And don't be fooled, people. That's why I'm doing these videos. I want you to understand what's going on. Now let me sum this up. Jean Carroll is the one that's accusing Trump of some things now. Monica Lewinsky had something dealing with a president back in the day that was Clinton. It's all about the dress, okay? Is Trump losing his decorum? Why would he embarrass his lawyers like that? Do you think that was the right thing to do? Everybody's playing a role here. There's a debate tonight. Does VP Harris have enough ammunition to go after Trump tonight? I'll come back probably live tonight to follow up on this. Let me show you a few things here. Clinton was 49 years old at the time during this situation. Monica Lewinsky was 22. The 49th vice president right now is Kamala Harris. Is that coincidence? And 22, the 22nd letter of the alphabet is V. And I've showed in Constance videos, there is a V on the head of Barack Obama as America is being destroyed. You think all this is coincidence? I don't. It's a well-crafted situation. My name is Franchot Pearson. And remember, Jesus came to save us, not this system. As you can tell here, it's a dirty, low, rotten system that even goes biblical and historical just to keep us deceived. Tell me what you think. God bless.